What is up, team? Fabio here. Hope you are doing fantastic and a very good morning from behind your screen. So thanks for tuning in. As always, means a lot. And let's have a look at what the major dollar pairs have been doing. And of course, gold. So EURUSD here has been pushing up higher and has broken fractal structure on the lower time frame. However, still not the daily fractal structure, but we're going to dive into that right now. So what I can see here is that the daily is obviously still in between a high over here and a low over here. Now, the market started to retrace in towards the upside. We broke fractal structure in towards the downside here, and this therefore became our area of supply. Now, you can see that the price has retraced all the way into the extreme area of this supply zone. And if you look at the 4-hour time frame, you can see that we're still situated inside of that supply zone. However, the thing that I do not like about EURUSD is that it has broken 4-hour fractal structure. So the 4-hour fractal structure is simply the structure of the individual candlesticks. From this high, we see one straight push down in towards this low. At the time, we saw liquidation of this high and a tap in towards that area of supply, and you see an initial push in towards the downside. So a lot of traders were looking at this, myself as well, for potential shorts. We pull back into premium, we grab liquidity, we tap into supply. So a short would have made a lot of sense, kind of like in your mind. However, what you see happening is that demand remained in control, right? So we had this sell before the buy. You could refine it to the last candle, and from there we pushed up higher after reacting to this liquidity high and this overall area of supply. So that's why supply confirmation is extremely important, because now we did not take a loss by, for example, selling on this bearish candlestick. So now the market has been pushing up higher and it has been following the overall demand chain. So we can see that this demand zone is now currently open. You could also refine it to this imbalance candle over here. This is still open, so maybe we'll see a tap into that today and then another shoot up. However, if we look again at the fractal structure, we've broken the fractal high once again. To me, this now means that this over here is your fractal low. So a very tight range that your USD is trading in between. However, this demand zone is now currently in control. So this sub for the buy, and that should push the market up higher. If we break that, it could hint that we're going to push down lower to whatever level down below over here, and then we'll just follow the 4-hour bearish fractal structure once again. So all you need to know now is that this is your fractal range. Also, if you go in towards the 1-hour time frame, you'll see that it is pretty similar. All we're looking at this point in time is that this demand zone is now in control. So this demand zone, we expect it to hold and we expect it to push the market up higher. If it breaks, we could see it push down lower in towards this demand zone. Obviously, we still have kind of like this liquidity low open, and then again, we'll see, do we get bullish confirmation and then push up higher? So keeping my eyes open for anything in that regard. For now, staying out of EURUSD. Obviously, we have NFP today, so I'll not be trading euro dollar. Expecting a big boom. If we get a break of this high over here today, then I'll be looking for a long next week on Monday in towards higher areas of supply. But if we obviously respect this daily fractal high and we see a sudden push down, that would be a very nice short-term opportunity once again into lower levels. So for those shorts to happen, we need this low again to break, and that is your daily fractal low. Obviously, if we break this daily fractal high over here, then this will become your fractal low. So waiting for that low to get taken out, and then I'll be looking for a short next week. So yeah, longs if we break the high, shorts if we break the low. Going into the dollar index itself has been pushing down lower. Very simply said, I'm going to clean up my chart for you guys right this minute. All I can say is that overall, what you want to see is, okay, we get the push up, very minor correction, push up, minor correction. So this could just give us another push up. However, what I always use to really understand if we're ready to see the next push up is, again, fractal structure. So what we have over here is a fractal high, which breaks in towards the upside. So what you then wanted to see was that the demand zone, which then forms, right? So this sub for the buy, that then holds and then pushes the market up higher. However, you see that that demand zone fails and that we break the low over here. So we push in towards the downside, then this becomes your area of supply, which is now currently pushing the market down lower. And this is currently acting as a liquidity high over here. An initial reaction down, come back up, grabs liquidity, pushes in towards supply, and then now looks ready to push down lower once again. For now, what are the targets? This is the main target now for the dollar index to push in towards, as this is still an open daily area of demand. Now, the reason with the dollar pushing down lower, obviously we're still trading inside this area of consolidation, right? So what you can very clearly see is that we have grabbed the range high over here, and then we see the downside rejection. So it's not very strange that we're seeing a push down lower. So where can we see a push down into? Well, then obviously we look at, okay, What are the higher time frame areas of demand? Well, here on the weekly, we have an imbalance which broke through several areas of supply, actually, to be honest. So for example, it broke this area of supply over here. So what I'm now looking at is for the dollar to tap in towards this area of demand. And then obviously on the lower time frame, you'll then refine it to this daily area of demand. So that daily area of demand could start pushing the market up higher. Could we just start reversing from here back in towards the highs without ever pushing down lower? Yes, that is definitely possible. Why is that possible? Well, because the daily fractal structure, like if we look at it very mechanically, is still bullish. This is actually in theory what is now currently happening. You get the push down in towards this low, then you get the retracement high, push down low, and then boom, push up again. So very mechanically speaking, this is now your fractal high and this is now your fractal low. So overall, the dollar is still bullish from fractal structure perspective. But if we take out this low, then I'll definitely be looking to trade it in towards this daily area of demand. And then inside there, we'll just follow the order flow down lower. Or if it then gives us a shift, we can look for longs once again. Going into AUDUSD, AUDUSD has also been pushing down lower. AU is fundamentally very bearish, also with recent news on the Australian dollar, hence why it's pushing down lower as opposed to EURUSD. There was news this week, which I showed, I think yesterday or the day before, a video where we have seen that the economy growth of Australia is at a very, very low point overall. And furthermore, looking at the technical perspective, it is also just very bearish, right? So what we can see here is that we're just pushing down lower and lower. And a lot of traders always want to wait for like the perfect pullback, the perfect swing up. But what you see is that very often when the market is just trending, that is when you're going to be missing out on a lot of setups, right? So if we zoom out and you look in the past, like there have been many moments, like here, for example, that the market just pushes down lower and lower. And by following the overall fractal structure, you can prevent yourself from missing out on those potential opportunities, especially when you have like a strong or open liquidity low still open. So what I want to look at here is that this is very simply set my fractal high. This is very simply set my fractal low. So we can see that Aussie dollar is still in a bearish fractal range. What we see is that we get a perfect tap in towards this daily area of supply, and from there we straight away push back down lower again. So looking for further downside on Aussie dollar. Obviously with NFP, yeah, it could just shoot back up because that is a big news announcement that's going to cause it definitely to move. But overall, it is still looking more bearish than bullish, definitely. If we look at the fractal structure as well here, because look, immediately the bias that you form is here based on the daily, right? So daily fractal structures, that's the high, that is the low. Then what do? You go in towards the 4 hour, and again, you look at the fractal structure to see if we can get any entries. So this is the 4 hour fractal breakup. This is your second 4 hour fractal breakup. And then what is the fractal low? The fractal low is the low of this bearish candle. And as you can see, we've now broken that low. What is then your supply zone that breaks it? The buy up before the sell down. And then what do we see? We see an initial reaction to that zone, and then straight away a push down again. So for now, supply is still in control. I'm not looking at any longs. Only interested in potential shorts further in towards the downside here on Aussie dollar. So yeah, interested in trading this further down still. So yeah, looking for further downside on this. Going into GBPUSD. GBPUSD has been pushing up higher. Yeah, pretty logical now. We're following the fractals in towards the upside on this for now. We still have some open supply. There's nothing really here to trade it against. What I'm currently looking at is that this is our next area of supply. So expecting some higher prices from GU. Overall, if we look at the daily fractal, we can see that this is your fractal high and that this is currently your fractal low. So as long as this low is respected, we should continue to push up higher. This is the overall sell before the buy over here. That is now your demand zone. So if we see a nice tap into that, you could look for a potential further upside movement on GU. Then diving towards the 4 hour. The only thing that I do not like about the 4 hour is that it is extremely choppy. So we'll be looking for some cleaner price action, potentially on the retest, and then get in on something like that. So that would make sense to myself. Just quickly looking at the 4 hour as well, by the way, guys, we can very clearly see that we went from a bearish market into a bullish market. And now again, another break of structure. This is now your swing low. This is now somewhere your swing high. So you can look for further upside here on GU. Going into NU, so NZDUSD. NZDUSD has been pushing down lower, very similar to AU. Obviously, NU is also fundamentally bearish, and the economy between New Zealand and Australia are very well connected. What we can see here very clearly, once again, is that we're reacting to this imbalance over here. And once again, the fractal structure just playing out to absolute perfection. We had a fractal low break over here, as you can see, And what is then your fractal high? Your fractal high is this high over here. This here is your fractal low, and what you see happening is that we retrace in towards that daily area of supply, and from there we push down lower once again. So now if you want to look for an entry, go in towards the 4-hour time frame, and then again do the exact same as I just explained on AU. Here we have the fractal high break, then again we have another fractal high break, then again we have another fractal high break. So the fractal high breaks, all I'm just explaining is what the trend is doing on the lower time frame, right? You can very clearly see internal trend is just bullish, and now what we're seeing here is the shift in towards the downside. So what does it mean? It means that this here is your fractal low, which we now have broken. Now this means that this is your supply zone over here. So what I'm now looking for is a strong 4-hour candle close, then a retracement, and then further downside from NU. To me that makes sense, following, very simply said, the daily fractal structure. So that's what I'm looking at on NU. So NU looking good, AU also looking good for shorts. EU and GU I would stay out of for now. Looking here at gold, last of all, gold pushed down lower. Finally, some momentum came into that thing. We can very clearly see that this supply zone eventually played out. So the supply connection has been working and pushing the market down lower, but then again extremely choppy. So personally I did not do anything with this. Now we're making a retracement in towards supply. Looking at this, it is not a very clean one at the moment. I'm just going to be focusing on the higher time frame, and then if I look here at the daily for myself, it still makes sense to maybe see one more push down as this liquidity low is still open, and I would prefer to see another push down, maybe in towards refined area of demand over here, and at least take out this liquidity low. But again, guys, gold is consolidating. It is stuck inside of this range. Therefore, I am taking my hands off of this and trading NZDUSD and AUDUSD as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Wish you all a fantastic trading day, and we will speak soon.